Oh man. Welcome back to Humanity Sports. And we have the Raw review today. And I saw some things saying that, this is the first show AC after Cena. And we saw a lot of the potential vision of the future forming. And I enjoyed this Raw quite a bit. But let's start with public enemy number one, the ring general Gunther. And he's getting booed to oblivion. Not to Roman Reigns after beating The Undertaker levels, but he's just soaking it all in. He goes to the ring, just heavy boos. He just keeps putting his arms up, just taking in all the boos. And then he finally does start saying something, and he says that he tapped out Cena like a little bitch. That's the only thing he says. He throws the mic and leaves, but then he comes back to start celebrating even more, and then he goes to leave again, and then he comes back and wants some more heat, so he stands on the announce table with a mic and says that it's my name that will forever be the man who made Cena give up. Oh man, because his time is now. Damn. It was it was exactly what it should have been. And as he's walking out, he passes Alpha Academy and he passes R-Truth. But then he gets to Adam Pearce, and Pearce is like, "Oh, I bet you're real proud of yourself, ruining like talking about Cena's legacy like that." And Gunther goes, "Well, yeah, I am. I tapped out the guy that would never give up. Like, yeah." And then he's like, "Anything else?" And Adam Pearce is like, "Yeah, you're done for the night." So Gunther, he just keeps walking, but once he gets to his car, somebody phenomenal is waiting for him. And Gunther's like, "You got anything to say?" And AJ doesn't say anything. Gunther then gets in his car, but drives a little forward, rolls down his window and goes, "Hey AJ, you can't see me." And then drives away. But man, Gunther, best heel in the company right now, number one enemy, 100% the right choice to face John Cena. And is this hinting at Gunther retiring AJ Styles as well? Or is it hinting at a Mania match? Or is that Mania match AJ's last match? Who knows? But, this was just perfect for Gunther. Gunther is elevated to a new level of low-key negative superstardom, which still makes him a superstar. But, man, I love this segment. But let's go to the first match of the night. We have one of, if not the most legendary tag team feud of all time, Usos versus The New Day. And both of these teams are great, obviously. Both of these teams work really well together. They're both like brothers. One is literally a set of brothers, and the other one, pretty much is. It was a very fun match. I did like when Wade Barrett on commentary said "Oh, you could switch Jay. You could have Jay and Xavier versus Jimmy and Kofi, and they just all know each other that well that it would still be a great match." And I really like that. But the Usos do end up getting the win after a 1D, and I'm assuming that Usos versus Team Dragon Styles is going to be soon. And although something in this match, it just doesn't make me think that the Usos being back together is a long-term thing, which does kind of upset me. I really like the Usos when they're together, not so much as single stars, and I think that they should just run the tag division. But something about how they were kind of working as solo stars in this match a little bit. They had their moments, but it was something was weird. I just had a weird feeling during this match. But I'm glad that the Usos got a win. Give me Usos versus Team AJ Lee soon, and I'll be happy. But now we go to Rhea and Io Sky coming out. They're probably going to talk about how they have a title match on January 5th for the women's tag titles, but they don't even make it in the ring. Asuka mists Rhea, and the Kabuki Warriors just completely beat down Rhea and Io. Although Io does take a bullet for Rhea with the insane elbow. So, we're getting Asuka and Rhea next week. We're getting Rio versus the Kabuki Warriors on January 5th. And I like how they're setting up this specific tag match, and I also like how they're continuing to set up this multiple team match that might happen at Mania. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the build. Poor Rhea, she keeps getting misted though. Now let's go to the Women's Intercontinental title match between Maxine Dupri versus Ivy Nile. And this is Maxine's first defense, and it was one of her better matches. She continues to get better every week. It's very impressive, and this was a fun technical match. And it ends with Maxine actually submitting Ivy. So my takeaways from this are, like, Maxine is genuinely, like, a good wrestler now. Like, when she has a match, I'm not, like, rolling my eyes anymore. I'm like, oh, I'm, like, excited for a Maxine match, which is cool. I wrote down that Ivy looked solid, but I don't think that she's really going to be pushed. She kind of disappeared, got a title shot, and then tapped out, so it's, like, it's really not something that, like, I'm looking forward to see getting pursued any longer. But something I am looking forward to that I hope happens is Maxine Dupri versus Natty Neidhart. I hope it's Natty Neidhart and not Natalya. I think that this could be a really fun WrestleMania match. Make it like an I Quit match, like have Natty turn on Maxine or something. I mean, it'll cook whenever it happens. So I really just want to see that. But let's go backstage to Javon Evans and the Americanos. The Americanos interrupt a conversation with Adam Pearce and Javon Evans, and Americano in El Grande Americano, I don't know why I'm shocked that he speaks such good Spanish. You know, he's a Spanish legend, but he was reportedly speaking down on NXT, and Javon like, hey, you're talking bad about NXT. You know, I know enough Spanish to know that. So I want one of you guys next week, and Rayo Americano, the one in the red mask, because they have their names on their masks now, so it's easier to tell them apart. I just thought of red and blue, red Rayo, blue Bravo, but I mean, yeah, put your name on the side of your head. That works too. Adam Pearce makes it official, and we have Javon Evans versus Rayo Americano next week. That'll be fun. Speaking of fun, CM Punk, he's back on Raw after missing 2 weeks, and he says the reason why he wasn't here was because he wasn't cleared. He said that doctors that know better of him didn't let him fly and said that he couldn't wrestle. But the part that sucked the most was having to listen to Braun Breaker speak. And then he says, "Listen to me, Braun, you cross-eyed Neanderthal Nepo baby." And he says how Braun was talking about how he wants 2011 Punk, and Punk says, "You can't handle 2025 Punk." And you keep saying how you beat me, but you didn't beat me alone, did you? You know, you had help with a Logan Paul and Bronson Reed Tsunami and a Brock Lesnar F5 and this masked vigilante running around or whatever. And he says that he talks about how Paul Heyman is going to move on to the next big thing. And he said that he'd have dimes in his pockets for every time that has happened when Punk's been in the ring. And he says, speaking of dimes, if you ever mention my wife's name again, it'll become personal. And Punk says that he'll rip out Braun's eyes and piss on his single-digit IQ brain. And he's like, hey, I'd tell you to be honorable and fight me one-on-one. But I know you're not going to because you don't have the heart. And he says to bring everyone, including his father and his dumb brother Scott. Because even with Steiner math, GTS still equals 1, 2, 3. You lose. Because he's the best in the world. Oh, man. I mean, I don't know what's happened recently, but a bunch of people are just cutting way better promos than they usually have. I don't know. There's something in the air. There's something in the air letting all these people cut amazing promos lately. And I'm just so hyped for this match. Punk absolutely cooked on the microphone. Braun Breaker cooked for the past few weeks. Now I need a back and forth promo. And I am not saying that Braun Breaker will. Yet you're going to need Punk to dial it back a little bit for Braun Breaker to have a shot on the microphone. But, you know, I need a back and forth before this happens. But realistically, with how this feud has went, and even with the ending of this, I don't think we're going to get that. I think we're just going to keep having brawls till the match, which is fine. Put him in a steel cage. Probably not, but that'd be cool. Now let's go to the Women's World Championship match between Stephanie Vaquer and Raquel Rodriguez. And I mean, this match was going great, and it was a lot of fun. Raquel was looking very strong in this match, and so was Stephanie Vaquer. I mean, both of them were looking great. But then the match, in my opinion, goes downhill once they go to the outside because Nikki Bella attacks Stephanie Vaquer, then attacks Raquel, lays out Stephanie Vaquer with a Rack Attack 2.0 in the ring. And I mean, and my takeaways for this are just, it was great heat for Nikki Bella because she ruined a great match. And I mean, is this going to be a triple threat? I kind of don't think so. But then at the same time, I could totally see them doing that. But I don't think you need to do a triple threat. I think you can maybe give Raquel her rematch against Stephanie and then do like Liv and Nikki or something. I don't know. I don't think this has to be a triple threat, but it kind of seems that that's where it's heading. Well, it's basically main event time, but before Ray goes out there, Ray and Punk speak very quickly backstage. They hug, and Punk says, "Hey, Ray, I know that they're going to have a lot of shenanigans for you, so I got your back." And then Ray and Logan Paul come out, and it's an okay match. It's nothing too special. It's Logan Paul fighting a much smaller wrestler, so he's kind of having to literally carry Ray, literally carry him through some of the moves. I mean, Ray, he's still moving like he's 20 years old. The Vision actually comes down, but Punk runs them off. Punk was right on that. Heyman then gives Logan Paul the knucks while the ref is distracted, but Ray trips Paul to the outside. But Ray gets stomped by a masked man. Logan Paul goes up top. 1, 2, 3 with what is now being called the Superstar Splash. I like the Paul from Grace way better. I'm not gonna lie. I like the other name way better, but this is okay. But the masked man doesn't run off. But then CM Punk comes down, scares them both off. Logan Paul runs out of the ring, and the masked man does as well. But the masked man runs into the crowd, pulls off the mask, and it is none other than a buzz-cutted Austin Theory. Austin Theory finally makes his return, and man, I'm excited to see what he can do in the Vision. But CM Punk turns around, gets speared. Braun Breaker holds up the belt and says, "Hey, if you ever bring up my family ever again, I'm going to make sure you can't walk on 2 legs." He holds up the belt, and man, I am hyped for this match. And I'm hyped for this new Vision, this new era, I guess you could say. The AC era after Cena, that's what I'm going to call it from now on. I mean, you got a new Vision, you got a new #1 heel, and come January 5th, you might have a brand new World Heavyweight Champion. But for right now, that's it.